Hello, buddy, and welcome to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster here on Geek Carolina, your weekly walk into the wonderful world of Tokusatsu. I'm your host, Mike, and this week I'm joined by
Joe Gibkins' homeboy, Josh. Woot woot. Good to be back, Internet.
Sam.
And today, sorry about that, folks. Today, we have got another volunteer to watch with us Johnny Sokko and his flying robot.
I did not know what I was getting into.
She was not prepared.
We basically, just like everyone else that watched this for the first time, they go into it cold. So
Yeah.
No expectations of the show.
Exactly. So, before we jump into this, though, more than any other series that we cover here on Denzicaster, this is the one we get the most feedback on. And I always love sharing this feedback when we get some. So, a comment just a couple weeks ago here on the channel, going back to our very first episode, where we talked about Johnny Sokko, which, for the record, still the most hated video we've done here on Geek Carolina so far. But it was sent to us by the man from Krypton.
So, Superman.
Well, that is his avatar, yes. And I'm just going to check real quick to see where the man from Krypton is from, aka I'm just going to call you Kal-El for the time being. But no, he's letting us know that I can't see exactly where you're from here, buddy. But it says his comment to us: one classic retro channel plays Johnny Sokko where he's at, and he is rewatching the series along with us, starting with episode 1. But it says he's rewatching it as he's listening to us. Johnny Sokko is an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm. That tracks, yeah.
It's meant to be fun, cheesy, and campy in the vein of Adam West's Batman. And, well, this show actually was done in America in '69. So Batman would have been in its last season. So that actually does make some sense. When I first began watching it, I was pausing it all the time, trying to understand the visuals. Some of those kaiju and villains were horribly done. And I emphasize the word horribly because he capitalized it for us. But yes, I love it. I love Toei early to its to current Sentai, their Spider-Man, and the various Ultraman, Ultrawomen, Kamen Riders, Godzilla Gamera, Star Blazer, Space Battleship Yamato, Macross, Robotech, Gatchaman, Battle of the Planets, G-Force, Eagle Riders, whichever one of those titles you want to use for it, and Speed Racer.
Speed Racer?
Yeah. And he goes, I don't think I forgot anything. Also letting us know that Johnny Sokko has not been on Hulu since December of 2017. It's actually a little earlier than that. I think it's, like, for us here anyway, it was much earlier than that. It was still on Hulu, though, as of when we recorded the first couple episodes. But that's why we now have the Shout Factory DVD box set.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the many casualties of when lots of various streaming services went into business for themselves. Coincidentally, Shout Factory was one of those streaming services.
Yeah. And there is a Shout Factory app, which you can watch a lot of their stuff for free. I don't know if Johnny Sokko's on there or not. But one of the things that we did ask him, we responded on the channel with him, just to let him know, and we'll go ahead and say, yes, it is an acquired taste. At least for myself and Josh, I think I can speak for Josh, it's grown on us. Right now, we are a little more than halfway through the series, so we are going to keep watching it all the way through. We hope to hear from you again on some of our Johnny Sokko videos. And I did ask the question, what would he like to see us cover? And he has let us know that he would love to see us talk about the original Ultraman, or Battle Fever J, since it's a very early Super Sentai. I can tell you that next week we're gonna give a trial run. We're gonna see what we think of Toei's Spider-Man. That's what we're gonna watch next week here on Denzicaster. So we'll see what we think about that. He also let us know that, yes, they did use each kaiju or monster at least twice. So, hey, save your money, folks. The other comment is actually on our last episode we talked about Johnny Sokko on, where we covered episodes, oh my goodness, I don't remember the numbers. I think it's 15 and 16.
Mm-hmm. I believe you're right.
Yeah, where we talked about Iganog and then Torozon. Yes, they have interesting names, Sam.
Torozon!
He did let us know the actor who played Hunter, and I need to do some research on this guy. Remember The hunter in the shed. He's played by an actor named Yoji Naruto. Or Naruto, if you prefer. That's
Believe
the
it.
way it's
All
spelled. Also, let us know his opinion. Yes, GR2/Torzon is epic. And yes, the Torzon suit is actually a remake or a reuse of the first Giant Robo suit. They switched suits halfway through the show, apparently. And they filmed it way out of order. The Torzon episodes were among the last episodes physically made in production order. By that point, Giant Robo had gotten a new suit that was a sort of a blue and red instead of gray and red. So the production team took the old suit, redressed it, and used it for two separate robots. One of the robots named Calamity, who appears in episode 22, and then who he says here is basically a foreign knockoff of Giant Robo. And then the two GR2 episodes where it's used for Torzon, just given a new head. Yes, the team also did indeed get a jump in budget costs, no doubt due to the popularity and toy sales of Giant Robo made by Tomy, which is the same company out there, for anyone that's curious, that made Zoids. And the toys apparently were surprisingly good. Seeing as how filming was made prior to the show, and the show being surprisingly good, seeing as how the filming was made prior to the show, having its own various Giant Robo manga collections and whatnot, basically it was made around the same time as the manga was made. And just basically got a crap ton of promotion. He also warned us.
Oh, dear.
And luckily he warned us about one of the episodes we're talking about today. Destroy the Dam, which for the record is episode 17. We're talking about 17 and 18 today. Destroy the Dam was, in actuality, the 5th episode in production. Hence, the quality sees a drop. But it is really funny, though, at least the dub anyway, seeing as how all the dubbers really went over the top for that episode. Yes, they did. But that does explain a few things that have puzzled Josh and myself as we've been watching through this series. So thank you very much, Dimos Z.
Dimos Z, dropping some knowledge on the channel.
Yes, we appreciate that. The two episodes we've watched today are episodes 17 and 18. 17, Destroy the Dam, or if you are watching the Giant Robo version, the original Japanese, it would be Destroy the Akafuji Dam. And X7, a mysterious enemy agent, which basically has the same title in Japanese. So, synopses, since I have the handy-dandy Shout Factory guide here to read off of. Destroy the Dam, a huge, strange plant which has appeared suddenly in Saigama Lake, sucks in all the water, including a sailboat with a man in it. Yeah, that really is where they just leave the sentence, including a sailboat with a man in it. Attacking the monster plant with bombs only feeds it, and soon it is setting the land ablaze with flaming projectiles of its own. Only a plan devised by Johnny Sokko and enacted by Giant Robot can vanquish this vine. And then episode 18, one night a huge balloon lifts away a building in the Ginza Prefecture. It should say Ginza Prefecture. It says here literally in the Ginza.
A huge balloon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unicorn, I remember the balloon.
I don't remember it lifting a building.
No.
Unicorn receives a challenge letter from the mysterious man who calls himself X7. Johnny soon discovers that he and X7 have more in common than anyone knows, and that he must do battle with X7, who is now operating the Giant Claw. So these episodes do have reuses of two earlier monsters. Destroy the Dam is a reuse of the monster, the Gargoyle Vine, or Satan Rose, if you are more familiar with Giant Robo. So that is a reuse of the monster from episode 2, which is coincidentally the debut of Dr. Botanist, was back in episode 3, rather. That seems apropos. And then X7 Mysterious Agent is a reuse of the Monster Claw, or as it was referred to in the Japanese, Gengar. Gengar 2, who shows up in episode 5 for the first time. So, as is our tradition when we have a third voice on our Johnny Sokko episodes, Sam, first impressions of Johnny Sokko and his flying robot.
I'm scared.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Trust me, no one can be more venomous than Dave has about about his comments.
This is true. Like it. I think too much. That's my problem. I look at it and I pick it apart. It's a product of its time. I'm sure it was very well done for a product of its time. No. I will not be hurt if I'm not invited back to watching it.
The most diplomatic hard pass we've had on this show.
Yes,
Like, it was entertaining. It was, but I was questioning every other... Just, no.
Such as?
Oh my gosh, where to begin? So, this is typical for most cartoons anyway. The kid is in charge of the robot. The robot that can destroy the world. The kid's in charge of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's normal in cartoons, but in real life, just why is the kid in charge of it? Yes, it was accidental. Yes, it wasn't planned. But still, we're just lucky the kid is a good guy. What if he's a spoiled brat and says, "Screw you all, I gotta drive a robot"?
That's like in Gundam, Amuro Ray was like about 14 years old when he found it.
He's 14 when he
found the Gundam. So yeah, there's a kid that has a WMD under his control.
Yeah. Not to mention, it is something that you see far more often in cartoons or anime. Mm-hmm. You see the kid in charge of the giant robot. But when you suddenly see it as live action, it does become seemingly more ridiculous a concept.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is, because I'm okay with it in cartoons. I love Gundam Wing. All the main characters are like 14, 15 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool with that. And just, I don't know. And then it's the typical, I was laughing at, the lip syncing. They were doing the best they could.
I promise you they weren't.
They weren't getting paid enough to do the best that they could.
The Silver Dude was doing awesome.
Yeah, some of the voice acting is really, really good. Some of the voice acting is really, really bad.
The heartfelt and oh so awkward conversation between X7 and Johnny was
those were.
That was supposed to be a really dramatic scene, but X7 just butchered it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the bottom line, folks. When we do watch this show, and as Josh has said a million times, and as now our comrades on 8-Star Anime can attest, we initially woefully underestimated the exact amount of love that Giant Robo, regardless of its form, has on YouTube. We have learned from our mistakes here on Denzicaster and can only hope that our colleagues on 8-Star Anime do as well. They're actually covering Giant Robo, the animation, Day the Earth Stood Still, over on their show. But this was made in 1969, and it was the nascent days of network television in a lot of ways. Most people think that the 60s, it was all, very evolved. No, it really wasn't by the 60s. Color television had just started in the 1960s. And so it's still very much early days, and cheap programming is a thing that a lot of those channels needed, especially independent channels too. And so something like this show was not uncommon. Ultraman was another one where it was dubbed in that time frame, and it was done quickly and put out there for kids, and that's what it was targeted toward. So the dubbing is not what we would consider high quality today by any stretch of the definition of the word. Some of the guys did really good work. The voice actor for Dr. Botanist is one of them. Some of them were absolutely atrocious.
I mean, the one for Emperor Guillotine's good, but to be fair, he wears a big old paper mache mask, so it's kind of, you can't tell how well
he just has to point and nod.
Yeah.
Fangar's voice actor is, in my opinion, he's actually good, but when you stop to figure that his big gouged teeth cover up any mouth movement he could possibly have.
Well, in 17, he didn't have the teeth.
But that's because 17 was made, now that we know this, 17 was made much earlier in the production cycle than the X7 episode was.
So when he has the teeth, he's spot on. When he doesn't have the teeth, it's very obvious, dude. Open, talk. Just move your mouth. Because he doesn't even do that. He just... sorry.
So Josh, your initial thoughts off of these two episodes?
Awkward conversations aside, I kind of dug the level of gadgetry that was involved in the first episode, where Fangor, or Red Cobra, as he's referred to in Japan. I like Red Cobra better, because he works the theme, man. He has the peg leg and the Red Cobra symbol. And
the snake head.
Yeah, I wish they'd have kept his look from Destroy the Dam. I wish they'd actually kept his look from 17.
Because he had this cool little sigil Cobra symbol painted on his... That, and he had like I mean, he's up on a roof and he goes all grassy knoll on the chief of Unicorn. He's putting the gun together, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then he shoots him, and then the bullet is a transmitter. That is some serious James Bond crap.
Question.
Yes.
It just occurred to me. The bullet is that big. How did the commander find it?
Well, given the level of intelligence that Unicorn has shown us thus far in the series, I'm assuming a miracle.
Yeah, because the chief is marginally more intelligent than the other members.
Yes, but they turned it over. But I will give this, just to understand, so Sam will get the level that I'm shooting for here. They found the bullet. They ran ballistics on it. But at no point during their ballistics testing did they realize it was a tape recorder.
And then, of course, he also had, like, an exploding cigar, which was
Awesome.
pretty awesome. He's like, ah!
Yes, he had the grenade cigar where you chomp on it and then throw it.
However, meanwhile, Johnny countered with a knockout gas gun that he used on everyone, including the hostage that they were there to save.
Yeah, but at least he had a wake-up gas in his pocket, too. I mean, he knew that would happen, I guess.
He could have been, like, if you knock out the hostage, you don't have to worry about the hostage being stupid and running into danger.
That's true.
And that is kind of some Batman logic. Just knock out everybody in the room.
Yeah.
I'll use my bat gargoyle repellent.
So, folks, these two episodes, especially now knowing what Deimos has dropped on us, that these were shot way out of order, it explains so much. One of the things it very much explains is the varying quality of effects and the seemingly lack of consistency and continuity between makeup and whatnot from episode to episode. Especially, Fangar's the one that is the most striking because his original incarnation, if the episode Destroy the Dam is shot 5th in production order, then that would in production order be his first appearance. And he has the red sigil as part of the skull mask skull cap part of his makeup, and the teeth they're still jacked up, but they're not comically pronounced as they would be later.
That and his thighs weren't near, like, in the second time that you saw him after they filmed this, I mean, his thighs are, like, super stuffed full of padding.
Yeah, and not so much in that episode. So, I appreciate knowing that now, because that helps, but still, there's some interesting things in these episodes, really. You can tell the difference watching these two episodes back to back between the quality of effects early and the quality of the effects as the show progressed in production. You really can tell the difference.
I was impressed with the claw in the episode 18.
You would not have been impressed with the claw in episode 5. So, but there you have it. The claw looked really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The level of miniatures effects when they attempt to hide that the buildings are actually flats.
And it mostly succeed at.
Yeah.
But there's one building that you can see the little, like, stilts that it's on when it falls over.
As we've said time and again, this is not a show that benefits from high definition television. It really isn't. If you watch this show and can imagine it on a small 60s black and white TV, then these effects are awesome. And they're still very good. The compositing for the show, especially the fire effects in Destroy the Dam, even though it's the 5th episode production order, the fire effects were really, really good, actually, for what they were doing with the split screen effect where you cut out everything above like a tree line or a mountain, and then you impose something behind that. They used that effect for a lot of the fire, and that was very good. The first miniature effect in this show I think I've seen that I didn't like was the schoolhouse.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the schoolhouse looked not good, especially for as much as they lingered on it.
Yes, that was my complaint. Like, I loved all the fire, but it felt like it was like the Titanic where they just took forever with it.
And that's a common thing with this show is they will sometimes linger on a shot. Like Johnny, they go to stage an escape in episode... which one was it here? In the X7 episode,
yeah,
so I guess
18,
18 where he's stuffing effectively plastic explosive in a keyhole. They didn't need to linger on that shot as long as they did, but they did.
Maybe they're trying to impress you with what they're doing. Like, look, we got some special stuff. Admire it.
Yeah.
Shows like Johnny Sokko's elite demolition skills.
I will say this. Jerry Mono looked far more competent in these 2 episodes than he has in quite a while.
That bar's set real low, though, Mike.
I know. I know we're talking the vertical leap of the barbarian here, Josh. But the wrestling fans out there will get that joke. But, like, he actually looked competent leading the kids out of the building in episode 18. He really did. So I love that part of that episode. Anything that really did strike you as you liked, that you thought was good out of these 2 episodes? Something that, if we did ask you back over and this was on the viewing docket for the day, that you wouldn't sit there and go, okay, this is the thing I'm going to look forward to because I know this part of the show is good.
Well, the kid, to give him credit, he is smart. He's a pretty good actor, and they got the voice stuff pretty well done. I really have no complaints with him and his robot.
Okay.
All right, no, a ringing endorsement of Johnny Sokko. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, compared to the rest of the crew.
Fair enough.
Well, we've said time and again, he is the single best agent Unicorn has at their disposal, and not because he has a big robot.
No, he actually is smart. Like, he's the one that came up with the whole dam plan. It's like, it's on fire, water puts out fire, and the friggin' doctor's just like, I don't know.
Well, I think, to be fair, at that point the chief was suffering from like a head injury, and he was a little...
Well, no, the doctor, because the chief kept going to the doctor going, help us, and the doctor's just like, I can't, it's hopeless, we're doomed.
And then the Minister of Defense, who's like, stupid scientist, I never listened to a bit of science.
How about you, Josh? Something that we really dug out of these couple episodes.
I liked, one of the things I actually like is that we actually get to see Emperor Guillotine actually punish one of his men.
Yes.
Because in the past episodes, he's always just like, no, you have failed me again, a second time. There won't be a third. And ironically enough, this was the 3rd time that Botanist failed Guillotine.
Yeah, I guess it was, wasn't it?
And of course, he's like, no, I can do better. I can change. And then, like, as Guillotine just straight up executes one of his lieutenants.
Now, I want to point this out. Guillotine is a bad man. How can you tell Guillotine is a bad man? Because he can vaporize you with electricity through a television monitor. Because they were not in the same place. He points at camera. We see, presumably, looking at the monitor because they're communicating with each other. And then he goes, yeah, bad man.
So that raises the question, if he can kill somebody through the TV, why the heck isn't he doing this stuff? Like, why?
Well, because not everyone's dumb enough to turn on a TV with him on it.
That and I'm guessing they're saving it for the end of the series.
I was about to say,
yeah, maybe.
If he's got that power, maybe he's got more hidden depths. I don't know. Am I thinking too much again?
No. It's a valid concern.
Here's the funny thing about this show, and I will honestly say this. There are episodes where you will sit there and you will say to yourself, I'm putting way too much thought into this. I'm putting more thought into this show than the writers did. And then there are other episodes where you will sit there and go, oh my God, that's actually like Doctor Doom level supervillain plot. Like, there are episodes where they're like, we're going to go to this country, we're going to destroy this. If we destroy all of this country's oil, we will destabilize the economy in Japan and be able to take it over easy. They're like, holy crap, that's smart.
And then there's certain plans where I want to steal all the gold in the world and build a solid gold palace.
Then there's that. So you go from Doctor Doom, King of Latveria, to tie her up and leave her on the railroad track. So what I really dug out of these 2 episodes is actually Destroy the Dam. I really thought the effects for Giant Robo destroying the dam were really good. The dam itself looked realistic and to scale with him. I could buy that it's supposed to be a dam and that this is a giant robot standing next to it. The suit actor did a really good job of making it look like there was some resistance punching through it, and the water spewing out looked to scale. And that's water and fire are 2 of the things when you're dealing with miniatures that will screw up a sense of scale horribly. Because water is water, and unless you just have that much of it, it doesn't look like that much of it. So they did a good job on that, and I like that. Anything we didn't care for? I'll get mine out of the way. U7's voice actor was trash. Not U7, X7's voice actor.
Yeah.
Garbage. Straight garbage. Let the hate come. He was garbage.
No feeling. It was flat.
Yes.
And the actor was kind of flat too.
I think, here's the thing. I can buy the actor. I really wish I could hear the Japanese voice performance for it, because with the voice he had here, it's flat. But with a different voice, that same performance is detached. And given that he is a cold-blooded killer at like 12, but given that he's done all these horrible deeds, you would have to think that he is this detached enemy agent.
Okay.
So, but
like I said, I can almost see the difference, like an almost Hiro Yui-esque level of detachment with what he does. But unfortunately,
he didn't have Hiro Yui's voice actor.
No.
So, what about you, Josh?
Really, the main stuff that I didn't like about this was just the very awkward nature of the voice acting in general, especially for these episodes. Like, there was a conversation that the chief was having with the rest of his team, that there was lots of pregnant pauses, and then they really talked about nothing whatsoever, and, like I said, just not very good.
Yeah. Sam?
The doctor, the scientist from episode 17, he was pointless, useless.
Dr. Dorian.
And just, that's it.
So is there anything we're looking forward to going forward? Just real quick, I'll go ahead and as we tend to do for this show, we'll go ahead and get the episode titles out of the way for the next two. So episode 19 is Metron, the Mysterious Spaceman, or in Giant Robo, it was Metro 3, the Alien from Andromeda, which will be the return of Giant Robo 2. So it's the return of Torazon.
Neat.
And then episode 20 is Beware the Radion Globe, or in its original form, SOS Giant Robo, which will be the return of, how do you say that? Gober. Really? Glober? Okay. Glober, which was the Magic Globe in episode 2.
Oh.
So we've got the return of Torazon for 19, and then we have the return of Glober for episode 20. What do we think? Josh, what are we looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Torazon. He was pretty cool.
Okay. I agree with that. Torazon's going to be pretty awesome, because that was a really cool foe for Giant Robo. How about, if you happen to be here the next time we watch any of this?
You're just like, that won't happen.
I don't really know. I will watch it. I will give it a second chance.
That's more than Dave will do.
Though I do want to know, when you first put on episode 17, you were looking at me and you just bursted out laughing. What was my face?
So one of the great things about watching Giant Robo, this is, or Johnny Sokko in this case, and I tend to do this a lot of times with shows I've already watched before, but I do it with Giant Robo when me and Josh watch it with someone else for the first time, is just the initial shock and awe that appears on someone's face of, oh my God, what have you gotten me into now? Sam has not been watching Toku for very long. In fact, if you'd like to see the first time she ever watched Tokusatsu, go back and find the episode for Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the very first one we did, because that's the first Toku she's actually watched knowingly. Because I think you had seen like Godzilla or things like that. So she had seen Tokusatsu, just not known that's what it was. Josh and I have watched Tokusatsu together now for 4 years or better.
Yeah.
So, probably longer than that. I've indoctrinated him to a certain level of
what to expect.
Interesting. Although I don't even think Josh knew what to expect. Neither did I, frankly, going into this one.
My only frame of reference is I'm a fan of the anime.
Right, and I didn't even have that. So, but no, that's why I was like, because the look on your face initially was, oh my God. So, but all in all, not a bad couple episodes. Love the knowledge though that these were shot way out of order, because that explains a lot of what we've seen so far. So, folks, if you want to help us out here on Geek Carolina, you can do that by going to our Cafe Press store. It's cafepress.com/Geek Carolina. You can pick yourself up a cool t-shirt, including our Johnny Sokko inspired t-shirt with the Electric City Sentai Denzicaster in the form of the Johnny Sokko logo. You can also like us on Facebook. We are at Denzicaster on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at Geek Carolina. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. That really helps us out. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we've done. Give us a thumbs down if not, if you want to share your love. Or send us some hate because X7's voice actor was trash.
Let the hate flow through you.
That's what the comment section is for. I want to thank the man from Krypton and Dimos for their comments on our previous Johnny Sokko videos. Appreciate it. Keep them coming, guys. And until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Josh.
Sam.
We'll see you next time. I'm getting it right this week, damn it. On Denzicaster. We'll see you next time.